is just to be me, 'cause what I feel.
Hi,
Hey everyone.
it's Macy and Larry and the Love Advantage from Big Happy Love. And Gary, of course. Welcome. So today, you tell them.
Well, Thanksgiving's coming up in a couple of days, and I know I had many years without a partner during Thanksgiving and the holidays where I was feeling lonely. And so we thought we'd talk a little bit about loneliness and just some thoughts around that and getting through the holidays.
Figuring out how to manage it. So, what do you define loneliness as?
Well, it's an emotion, and it's this. What was it? It was this. It's kind of a signal from your brain that you need to go look.
Well, you had a good definition earlier that was just about really that loneliness is about that there's something missing, there's something not enough. And when you look up the definition of loneliness, it is that it's an emotion that helps us connect. So it's actually an emotion that's inspiring and motivating us to connect with other people.
Well, that being said, in the Buddhist Dharma, Buddhist teachings that I've studied, loneliness as an emotion is not necessarily a bad thing. In Western cultures, we're all about moving away from discomfort, trying to avoid discomfort. But really, there's something to be said for just experiencing the loneliness. Either you're meditating with it, you're being curious about it. Where is it coming from? What exactly am I feeling here? Why am I feeling lonely? Is that really what I'm feeling? So having some contemplation around it instead of immediately saying, okay, I need to fix this like it's a problem,
Right. Yeah, because I think that's the immediate reaction, that there's something wrong. Like loneliness, you shouldn't feel that way. Or, it doesn't feel good when you do. And so we wanted to offer some tips on how to kind of work through it so that you can experience it and benefit from it. Because all of our emotions are really just little triggers that lead us to what we need in the world, what our spirit needs. So we came up with
the 3 A's.
Yeah.
One is allowing, which is what I was just talking about, saying, okay, I'm going to just sit here and meditate with it. I'm going to be curious about it. I'm not going to just push it away or say this is bad, this isn't the way I should
we'll
be
talk
feeling.
more about what are the 3 A's though.
The 3 A's are allowing, and then the second one is asking, what's it all about? Why am I feeling this way? And the third is action.
Yeah. So in those, it's a process, and really, if you think about it, if you allow the emotion to come forward, and this is with all emotions, if you just allow it, then you can let it move forward. When we resist it, what we resist persists. So when we resist it, we are starting to make it bigger. And so we're offering that the first step is just to allow it.
And I love the word curious. Be curious. There's a lot in Buddhism about that. Be curious. Try and be curious about it. It sort of disarms it. It makes it so that it's not a bad thing. It's just an emotion that you want to be curious about. If you are curious, if you sit with it, if you allow it and feel it, sometimes that allowing allows you to let it go.
Yeah, just noticing it and naming it.
And it could actually be, a loneliness could just be something that you need to feel and then let it go and then just move on with your day. So It could be as simple as that.
So the first step of managing, or I like to say making friends with loneliness, because actually if you say, I'm just going to make friends with this loneliness, in a sense it's being in that playful energy, and already you're separated from it and just witnessing it, And hey, you're saying you're friends with it, so how lonely can you be at that point? But
And a point I wanted to make was I've been in relationships where I've still felt lonely. I've been with friends where I've felt lonely.
right, so it doesn't mean
it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I have to go connect with somebody. It's an inside kind of thing that can happen anywhere. It's a feeling you can have anywhere at any time.
right. And that's what the second step is about. So the first step is that allowing, the getting curious, making friends with the fact that, oh, this emotion is here. Let's check it out. And then the second step is checking it out. It's asking. It's asking, what do I need? What would I love right now? So that's the second piece, is to engage with it and just find out what it is that you want. Because maybe it is that there was just this perception that it was bad to be alone. Or it's bad to be alone on Thanksgiving. But what if what your heart really wants is to have a long time, read a bunch of books, do something creative. If you ask, though, you'll know. And if you ask and the answer is, I really would like a hug from someone, I really would like to, hang out with some friends, then that gives you some information.
And that's the action step.
Right. And then the information leads you to action. So the action maybe is, well, maybe I'm not really lonely. Maybe I just want to be alone right now. And then, or maybe I really do want more community. Maybe if you are looking at your life and seeing there isn't a lot of time where I am connecting with people, how can you remedy that? And for me, I think that one amazing way to do that is to volunteer in your community somehow, so that you're around people and you're out of your head and you're able to serve other people.
Yeah.
And certainly if loneliness is a big pain, where else is there loneliness in the world? Maybe a senior center where there are people who don't have visitors a lot. That might be a good kind of remedy by serving someone else who might have that experience. So taking action can happen in a lot of different ways. What other ways were you thinking?
Well, just picking up the phone and calling somebody. A 5-minute conversation is enough to sometimes get you that love connection, where that loneliness, just like any other emotion, it comes, it goes,
Right.
and you get on with your life. Sometimes it's taking the dog for a walk.
Yeah,
or anything
animals.
like that.
Come get Gary. You can have Gary for
Not that he
for
likes going
a
for
couple
walks.
weeks.
The other thing we were talking about is, I think it's really helpful when you're feeling loneliness to maybe try and go through some stages like this, to think about it, to contemplate it, to be with it, because, there's that possibility when you're dating, if you have this unresolved, unexamined loneliness, then the next person that comes along that shows an interest in you, your whole, a non-negotiable wish list of what you want in a partner goes right out the window.
That's very true.
Because you just go from loneliness to just attachment.
Right.
Attachment to someone else.
Right.
And so if you have a little more internal kind of assessment and allowing of this, then that person comes along, you could be a little more objective and say, that would be company, but really, is that the company I want?
Yeah, I think that is a huge one, because I think when we make loneliness wrong, like it's a negative thing, it's a bad thing, then we inherently want to fix it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this isn't about fixing. This is about recognizing your emotions. I mean, our body is just an instrument that is guiding us to where we need to go. And if we're following those nudges that say, okay, I'm feeling this discomfort, what is it? unless you're willing to kind of make friends with it and get curious and find out what it is you really need, then it's easy to just kind of jump into another negative experience, which would be jumping into a relationship that may not be healthy or serve you. It's just trying to fulfill a false gap.
Right. Just a drug trying to treat an illness or something.
Right. So the 3 A's to help with loneliness. So if that's your case, and the other thing is getting help. Like, if you feel like you struggle with the fear and you do feel really loneliness and you're longing for companionship and you're struggling to figure it out, reach out. You can write me, Macy at bighappylove.com, and I can certainly help you find ways that you can grow into a meaningful relationship. But really consider, like, is this something that you need more help with? And if you do, great. Let's work on it. So the 3 A's.
Allowing,
Asking,
and action. Nice.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thanks for showing up. We really appreciate it.
We love
and
you.
Look for regular trainings next week. Bye.
Bye.